In this video we will witness more than 2 miracles of Quran. Let's start.
وقال الإنسان ما لها يومئذ تحدث أخبارها وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها.
The word zilzal in Arabic means earthquake, shake, and the word eskaliha means the weight and heavy load. Considering the above verse, it is seen that an important scientific fact about the earthquake is pointed out. In the second verse of Zilzal, it is mentioned that throwing the weight of Earth in relation to the earthquake. As a result of the research in the last centuries, it was understood that there were heavy metals in the center of the Earth and that this appeared as a result of the Earth's movement. According to the geologists, as the Earth cooled, the heavy and dense substances collapsed towards the center of the Earth while the lighter ones rose to the outer surface. For this reason, the Earth's crust consists of the lighter substance, basalt and granite rocks, while the core contains heavy metals, for example nickel, iron. As a result, the underground of molten metals consists of a heavier and denser material than the ground. In the event of the earthquake, heavy materials in the ground have an opportunity to rise above the ground, thus exposing the Earth's weights as described in the verses. In addition, the places where the metal reserves are located are the regions where the earthquake and volcano movements occur more. As a result of extensive research, these recent scientific findings are only one of the scientific facts that Allah make a sign in the Quran. An important geological function of the mountains in Quran is pointed out.
وجعلنا في الأرض رواسي أن تميد بهم وجعلنا فيها فجاجا سبلا لعلهم يهتدون.
Note that in the verse the mountains are reported to have preventive properties on earth. This fact, which was not known by any human being in the period when the Quran was demolished about 1400 years ago, has been revealed by the findings of modern geology today. In the past, the mountains were thought to be only the elevations on the surface of the earth. However, scientists realized that the mountains were not only surface elevations, but sometimes with their parts called mountain roots and about 10-15 times their length. With these features, the mountains have a similar role as a nail or stake tying the tent tightly. For example, the summit of Mount Everest, which is approximately 9 km above the earth, has more than 125 km of route. In addition, the mountains occur as a result of the movements and collisions of the very large layers of the Earth's crust. When the two layers collide, the more durable one falls under the other. The upper layer rises up and forms mountain. The underlying layer advances underground to form a deep extension. Therefore, as we have already mentioned, there is a deep extension of the mountains as well as the masses that we see on the Earth's surface. In addition, Frank Prest, the former president of the American Science Academy, states in the Earth book, which is used in many universities around the world, the mountains are pile-shaped and buried deeply on Earth. In the verse of the Quran, this function of the mountains pile analogy is marked as follows.
ألم نجعل الأرض مهادا والجبال أوتادا